In the first qualifying session of 2018, it was the 30-year-old Sebastian Vettel who was the fastest man of all for the Scuderia, edging Lewis Hamilton to pole by just a hundredth of a second, and with his teammate Daniel Ricciardo less than a tenth slower. Lewis's teammate Stoffel Vandoorne will start just behind the Australian, barely beating out Red Bull Aston Martin's lead driver aarava. Giovinazzi continues to improve, with Toro Rosso grabbing the second spot on the third row, ahead of Pierre Gasly even. The two Mercedes drivers will likely be unsatisfied with 8th and 9th, but Sainz will be downright upset, starting 4 places behind his teammate. The Alfa Romeos will start best of the rest and with fresh rubber on the grid. And here's how the grid will look for today's Bahrain Grand Prix. It was Sebastian Vettel who took pole position in the Ferrari alongside Lewis Hamilton in the McLaren. Row 2 comes their teammates Daniel Ricciardo in third alongside Stoffel Vandoorne. Row 3 comes aarava in the Red Bull and Antonio Giovinazzi in the Toro Rosso. Then comes aarava's teammate Pierre Gasly in 7th, Pascal Wehrlein in the Mercedes, beating out Max Verstappen, also in the Mercedes, in 9th position, and Carlos Sainz rounding out the top 10. Then it's an all Alfa Romeo affair on row 6 with Leclerc ahead of Schumacher, then Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean. Then comes Magnussen's teammate Nico Hülkenberg in 15th, Sergio Perez, the faster of the Force Indias, in 16th position, then Nico Rosberg for the new Audi team in 17th, Sergio's teammate Esteban Ocon in 18th position. Then come Valtteri Bottas and Joseph Newgarden, and Sergei Sirotkin and Lance Stroll rounding out the grid of 22 drivers for today's race.
What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and we are back for MyDriver Season 4 here at the Bahrain Grand Prix, episode number 1. If you're excited, be sure to smash that like button. I am so happy to be back with MyDriver, and I'm so excited to get into this first race in this brand new, lovely looking Red Bull car, if I do say so myself. We've done pretty well to get 5th place here, just behind the 2 McLarens and the 2 Ferraris, who are looking very, very decent from pre-season as well. In terms of the race strategy ahead of the race today, we're looking at a super soft, then medium, then soft tyre stint. I probably will actually stick to that, get the slower tyre out the way, and then go a little bit faster on the soft tyres at the end. But really, it's a bit of an unknown. The first race of MyDriver is always a bit of an unknown. So let's just go to 5 red lights for the Bahrain Grand Prix, round 1 of MyDriver 2018. We're underway, the lights are out, and we've got a pretty decent start, but Giovinazzi's got an even better one on the right-hand side, so as we barrel down towards turn 1, we'll be on the outside of the Italian. We're going to try and hang it around the outside of him, and also that Stoffel Vandoorne, the Belgian, in the McLaren, as Hamilton fights Vettel into turn 2 for the lead of the Grand Prix. Hamilton and Vettel go side by side, Ricciardo getting up there in 3rd place, and Vandoorne also slipstream them, so all 4 of them battling away for what will be 1st place here. Look at Vandoorne darting around. We may have to be a bit opportunistic, wait behind, and there you go, Vandoorne gets squeezed out. We take the opportunity in our hands, up into 4th place there. Ricciardo is now trying to get on the back of Hamilton. He taps his right rear tyre, and Ricciardo nearly goes for a little spin there, but he's able to hold it through and kind of calmly settle down for 3rd place. So we're up into 4th. Opportunistic there as Vandoorne tried to dart around to make a move on Ricciardo, but it didn't work out for him. Speaking of Ricciardo, we're all right on the back of him at the end of lap 1, going on towards lap 2. And now this is where you're going to see the advantage Ferrari have on the engine power this season. Ricciardo in the slipstream of Hamilton, going to duck to the right-hand side of the circuit to go down the inside of Hamilton. We're going to concentrate behind us because Vandoorne is looking very dangerous. We get very, very close to Ricciardo. Double lock up to avoid making contact there, but because of that, we lose momentum. Vandoorne on the right-hand side, round the outside, the Belgian goes, and look at that, he's actually managed to do it. Vandoorne now up into 4th place. He'll go up into 3rd actually momentarily here as he tries to overtake the Australian in the Ferrari. Will Ricciardo keep around the outside? Yes, he does. He tries to squeeze out Vandoorne. I try my best to keep with it, but I actually get susceptible to the Italian behind me of Giovinazzi in the Toro Rosso. So now we're down to 5th place, unfortunately. So it's Vettel from Hamilton, Ricciardo, Vandoorne, myself, then Giovinazzi, and then it looks like we've got a gaggle of cars behind us, including the Mercedes, and hopefully my teammate somewhere, Gasly, not doing too well at the beginning of this Grand Prix so far. But here we go, still right behind Vandoorne. You can see me, Vandoorne, and Ricciardo really close together, and you can see there, just off into the distance, off your screen now, Vettel streaking off into the distance. So Vettel looking very, very comfortable in his brand new Ferrari this season. So hopefully for him, for his sake, his kind of bad luck is sort of over this season, because we've not seen that too many times in previous MyDriver seasons. He's not really been at the front leading the way comfortably ever, really. So really kind of nice for him to do that. Now we move on to lap 3. You can see up ahead we've got Van Dorn now overtaking Ricciardo. So it looks like Ricciardo is actually struggling a bit for pace on these super softs. Van Dorn squeezes them out there into turn 2. They go side by side. That actually bogs both of them down. So now we get a great run off that corner. Slipstream Ricciardo. Where would he go? We're going to try and go around the outside as Ricciardo continues to try and slipstream Van Dorn. We're going to streak round the outside, right round the outside of Ricciardo. Ricciardo will try his best though. He'll keep it side by side into the S section. We're still going to go side by side. This is going to be close. We hang it around the outside. Brave stuff there, but we just get the racing line, and so we're up into 4th place. So Ricciardo struggling quite a bit here compared to his teammate, who's out in the lead very comfortably. So that's going to be a little bit of a debrief to look at for him personally at the end of this race. But now as we move on, trying to look at Van Dorn in the DRS zone already of Van Dorn. So that's pretty nifty for us and will help us out obviously, because we're down on power just a little bit compared to McLaren and Ferrari. So we need the DRS to help us, otherwise on pure pace we can't keep up with these McLarens and Ferraris. But as we go into turn 1, yet again you've got cars fighting. Now Van Dorn and Hamilton fight. Van Dorn very, very aggressive. He's moved up from 5th to now 2nd now in a matter of 2 laps. So Van Dorn looking very, very strong here, and he's looking very, very punchy as he overtakes Hamilton in a flash. So will this season be another season where Van Dorn wipes the floor with Hamilton? Let me know in the comments below what you think as we look on now to our teammate Pierre Gasly. This is what was happening behind us, so he gets a bit of a story of the entire race as a whole. We can see he's fighting the Alfa Romeo here. I think that's Leclerc, and Gasly going side by side with Leclerc. You can see behind them is Pato Verline. So Gasly really struggling at the moment on higher fuel in the Red Bull car, and really difference in pace between me and him at the moment. He tries to defend as best he can, but it looks like he's actually lose 2 positions here, because Verline makes a nice little move down the inside. They go side by side. Brilliant racing between the AI cars behind us here. They still go side by side. Wow, look at that. Side by side through the entire section, but go on Gasly. Just about got it there and defends from Verline, but he has lost the place to Leclerc, unfortunately. And it's a case of the Alfa Romeos are so good in a straight line because of the Ferrari engine that Gasly's struggling to kind of overtake them, because he's fallen back too much at the very beginning part of the race, whereas I'm in a bit of a cluster of faster cars where I can kind of pick up the downforce through the corners, superior downforce to them, and I can keep up with them, whereas Gasly's getting held up a little bit. We move on to lap 6 now. Hamilton makes a bit of an early pit stop compared to me. I continue on, as does Van Dorn. So Vettel's in, Hamilton's in. It looks like Ricciardo is in behind us as well. No, he's continued on. He's in the slipstream. I thought he would have come in as well, maybe to do a little bit of a double stack for Ferrari, but no, he stayed out. So all the teammates have kind of stayed out. You've got Vettel, Hamilton all in the pit. So now will Ricciardo get a good run? Looks like we've not got the best exit off turn 2. Here comes Ricciardo down the inside. Really late break for actually the Australian. He's done really well there. We go side by side. Tap tyres there a little bit. A bit aggressive on my defending, but I have to be to try and keep the position here, because at the moment Ferrari definitely are the fastest car from qualifying. So even though Ricciardo may be struggling, I can't afford to maybe let Ricciardo through, because you never know, later on in the race Ricciardo might pick up pace on a different set of tyres. Maybe he just doesn't like the super softs. But we move later on to the end of the lap. We're now going to come in for the pit stop, as well as Ricciardo, and also I think that's Giovinazzi in the Toro Rosso as well. So come on boys, the first pit stop of the season. Let's make it a good one. Unfortunately a little bit slow. We get held up by Ricciardo. So we stick on the medium tyres, as we said, getting that slower tyre out of the way. Going to go to the softs then at the end of the race to go a bit faster. Looks like Ricciardo's put on softs, and Giovinazzi behind us put on super soft, so that's great to see. Again, this is another dynamic that gets added to MyDriver, something we haven't had so far. The 3 tyre compounds in MyDriver could just make this series even more crazy than it usually is. But look at this, we've got a gaggle of cars right in front of us, the 2 Williams cars battling away, and Hamilton just ahead of them, and now Ricciardo is getting in the action. So this is, I'm just licking my lips here. We need to try and make a bit of an opportunistic move here, going round the outside of Stroll, and Stroll, look at that, Stroll really, really hampers Ricciardo, and we've overtaken both of them. So we've used Stroll tactically there to overtake the Australian once again. So we've really used slower cars in this Grand Prix yet again to try and overtake people, and then we just make a pure nice overtake round the outside of Valtteri Bottas there, and Williams yet again struggling on from 2017, finding it difficult to find the pace really. Williams known for their philosophy of low downforce, kind of high, high velocity in a straight line. It's not really worked out for them, especially in 2018, where really it's all about downforce, and Williams have really got it wrong once again in 2018 there with Bottas and Stroll. So they'll be fighting over the wooden spoon, I imagine. But behind us, look at that. Bottas still holding up Ricciardo, so that's going to help us out, just kind of alleviate some of the pressure from behind. So now we move on to lap 9. Still going well on the medium tyres. You can see up ahead, we've got Hamilton on the soft tyre. So we're trying our best to catch up to him. Behind us now, we can see Giovinazzi is behind us on super soft. So Gio doing really well on that softer tyre. So he's on super softs, a second set. So that means Gio must be doing a 3-stop, you would imagine. Super soft, then probably 2 softs to the end, probably. We've got a yellow flag, though. There's a car going slowly on the minimap. Who is this going to be? I think oh my god, it's Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel's got an issue. I cannot believe the scenes here. Sebastian Vettel is going slowly in the Bahrain Grand Prix. That's an absolute misery for Ferrari, a misery for the German. I can't believe it. If you have been here for a while and you've watched the previous MyDriver seasons, you know why that's a funny thing. Oh my god, I feel so sorry for Vettel. Does he ever get any luck in MyDriver? Honestly, I don't do anything to the drivers. It's all their own luck that they're producing from the AI coding. But Vettel's AI always gets into a kerfuffle there. So Vettel going slowly. So that means effectively it's a net 1-2 for McLaren here. So McLaren coming out of force, despite Ferrari being the faster team just about. But we can see here a replay now of what happened to Vettel. So Vettel overtook, I think that was Magnussen in the Renault. So obviously he was kind of in a different contra strategy. Magnussen on the medium tyre since the start of the Grand Prix. Good to see that the lower teams are trying different strategies again in this game. But Vettel, yeah, still going on. But you can see in here at this point, he starts to slow down, going down the gears a lot slower and just generally going at a snail's pace now. So he starts going to a crawl. And so when we look behind him, he's got a rear puncher there on what will be the left-hand side, from his point of view. You can see Magnussen then overtakes him. Then there's Hamilton, I think that is, overtaking him, or Van Dorn actually, who would have been in a net second place at that point. And then we come along. So that must have been Hamilton, sorry. We were behind Hamilton. So that's us on the medium tyres going past him. But absolute calamities for Vettel. So a random puncher for Sebastian. So very much like we've seen in real life with Vettel a few times in 2016. Here in MyDriver 2018, Vettel is getting punches again as well. So now we move on to back to our POV on lap 10. You can see now we've caught up to Magnussen, who is on a set of medium tyres since the start of the Grand Prix. So he's going to be going very slowly. And you can see the 2 Rossos behind us, just waiting behind us like eager sharks, really waiting to pounce on us if we get held up too much by this Renault car. So we really do have to get a move on here. Still being held up by Magnussen for a few corners, and all the time we're losing time to the McLarens ahead of us. You can see Hamilton just got out of shot there down the straight, so he make a move down the inside, dive down the inside of Kevin Magnussen, but he does great to actually hang around the outside. I don't get the momentum I need, and we get pinched in. We have to stick behind Magnussen just for now, again having to break mid-corner as Magnussen goes slowly. Finally, I try and maybe do something. We're going to set ourselves up for a little bit of a move here, get great drive off the corner, and now we can try and go down the inside of him, but Magnussen comes back. That Renault engine's working well for him there compared to us, and then here goes Giovinazzi, just waltzes past us with the straight line speed of the Toro Rosso, goes down the inside of Magnussen very easily and kind of shows us how it's done. And so Gio has overtaken us on the super softs, although saying that he is on the super softs, so it won't be too bad that he's overtaken us because he is on 2 sets faster tyres. But you can see now going down the straight, Sainz on the right, Magnussen in the middle. We're going 3 wide into turn 1, lock up from Sainz there as we go into turn 1. We go around the outside of both of them and we hang it back up ahead of them, but we're behind Gio, remember, you can see there. But there's Hamilton streaking off in the distance, then Giovinazzi, myself. You can see Sainz trying to make a move, maybe down the inside, so we're going to have to do defending again. So as we mentioned in the preseason video, the Toro Rossos looking very, very pouncy, and for now they're going to be faster than us in a straight line. We can claw it back in the corners. Clearly you can see I'm getting away from Sainz in the corners here with the superior downforce our chassis has, but in a straight line, the Toro Rosso really has optimized itself so well, like last season. So many times we saw it be an absolute rocket ship in blue last season, and this season it's pretty much the same, more of the same really. So now we have to try and do our best to catch up to Giovinazzi, but he set the fast lap of the Grand Prix as we move on to lap 12. As we look behind us, we see a blur of light blue as Sainz has gone down on the right-hand side with DRS. He's cleanly overtaken us even before we get to the braking zone, and so we have to stick behind him, trying to get a good exit off turn 2, potentially to get a run on him, just like we did before earlier on in the Grand Prix against Ricciardo and Van Dorn in the opening few laps, but we haven't been able to close up to Sainz as much as we can, but we should be able to get a good run into the S section, a place where the Toro Rossos do lack a bit of pace. So let's try and set this move up. Remember, Sainz on soft tyres here, so we'll be doing pretty well to try and overtake him actually on the medium tyres, which really don't perform too well around Bahrain. And then look at this, we do a nice little swing round. We actually make a fake move on the left, dive it down the inside on the right. So Sainz tried his best to defend, and actually he's going to continue to defend actually. I say that because he goes down the left-hand side, so we're still going side by side. We now fake to the inside, and we go again side by side. So a wonderful little scrap with Carlos Sainz, but really a little bit frustrating, and probably Christian Horner is going to be thumping the pit wall desk, because, you know, this is the B team. We're fighting the B team here. They really shouldn't be holding us up this much, but more and more each season, Toro Rosso are becoming their own entity and their own kind of force to be reckoned with, and more we're having less control over Toro Rosso, so I can't simply call on the radio to tell them to let Sainz let me through, because they're going to fight for it, because they have their own chassis, own aero department, own philosophy compared to us, so they've got a complete, you know, free reign to fight, and you can see I'm struggling to actually get an overtake done on Sainz. I tried down the inside on that second last corner, didn't work out, but we come through the final corner, get a good run here. We'll have DRS down this straight, so hopefully we can try and catch Sainz, but as you can see, as we actually go down the straight, we're not actually catching him too much, and as you can see, going into the braking zone, we're actually quite far back, so we have to make a little bit of a dive down the inside, a lot like what Ricciardo's done previously at the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2015. We go side by side with Carlos Sainz, still side by side, a little bit of contact. I don't know how we've held the spin there, and a little bit of an oversteer moment, and me and Sainz, no damage done, but now I squeeze Sainz, so this is getting a little bit personal here, as we're getting very aggressive with Carlos Sainz, because I'm getting annoyed now at these Toro Rosso cars, because as much as, you know, as I said, they're open to fight, but they really are getting a pain in my arse. I'm trying to catch up to Ricciardo and try not lose ground to the Ferrari and the McLarens potentially, because we could have maybe kept up with Hamilton potentially, but now he's way down the order. I don't even know where Van Dorn is in all this. I think he's still leading the way, so Van Dorn at the moment looking very comfortable to maybe get the first win in the season. We'll have to confirm that for you guys at the end of the race, but we move on to lap 15, and again, look at that ridiculous speed from Carlos Sainz. Goes on the left-hand side, absolute madness from Sainz. We have to again try and close up on Sainz in the corners. Once more, looks like we'll have to try and size up a move into the S section as we try and get a good run, and all these guys around, it looks like everyone around us is on soft tyres, interestingly enough, by the way, on the top left. It looks like I'm one of the few on medium tyres. We close up to Sainz once more. We try a move on this left-hander, the same place where we tried to move on Kevin Magnussen, and again, Sainz doing really, really well, to be honest. He's doing a class job to defend from me as best he can and make my life an absolute miserable hell here, but we're getting a little bit frustrated once more, getting the slipstream of him as best we can to try and close up in the final corner, because we'll get another good run through the final corner. Just line up our car here, nice and easy, line it up in a straight line, get the acceleration, plant the power, open DRS here when the line comes, and now we'll try and get in the slipstream once more. This time we're getting a lot more momentum than we did previously, so we're going to actually be a lot closer this time to make a move, fake to the left, go to the right hand side, down the inside once more. This time we go a little bit deep into the corner, squeeze Sainz out, just like we've seen Hamilton do on Rosberg in 2014 here in Bahrain, and we get that move done. So now we're in third place on lap 16, as we've got a few people making their pit stops, but it looks like we are genuinely in a fight for a podium here with the Toro Rosso, so I didn't think I'd be saying that, and potentially Ricciardo when he comes back to us. Remember, Ricciardo got squeezed out by Stroll so many laps ago, but he's still in this race. He's still somewhere there, a few seconds back from the Toro Rosso boys, so don't count Ricciardo out. We may be seeing him at the end of the Grand Prix, potentially. You can see on lap 17 here, I'm just going longer on the medium tyres, because obviously the likes of Sainz, Giovinazzi, obviously on the super soft, definitely pit a lot earlier. Sainz will be pitting earlier, Ricciardo on soft tyres will be pitting earlier. I'm the only one on medium tyres. Even Hamilton was on soft tyres, so I'm going on a very different strategy. We move on to lap 19, and you can see how far Van Dorn is ahead of me. One entire pit stop, really amazing pace from the Belgian man, and you know, that's probably proving why he's a one-time world champion. He won the world championship obviously in 2016 in the McLaren, and he's doing the job here at the beginning of 2018. Such great pace. Obviously he's had clean air. He would have been probably fighting Vettel, to be honest, if Vettel hadn't had that puncher, but obviously now he's out of the Grand Prix and Van Dorn's got clean air, and you can see on the right hand side now our tyres starting to really wear. So yeah, we had bad pace compared to Van Dorn before. We've got even worse pace now. As you can see, probably Van Dorn's going to streak away from us. So it's definitely time to come in for our second and last pit stop now. So we're going on to the soft tyres. So Ricciardo at this point is probably on the mediums. I believe, well, it says there on the top left, you can see briefly, Giovinazzi was on another set of super softs. So he comes in this lap, I think, right behind us. That's him behind us, that Toro Rosso behind us. So let's see what tyres Gio puts on his car. I believe Sainz must be putting on mediums just like Ricciardo, but Giovinazzi obviously was doing the 3-stock compared to his teammate Sainz. So let's see what tyre Gio's put on. I have a feeling he might put on softs and just completely ignore the medium tyre, which I don't know if he can actually do due to the mandatory tyre rule. Let's see, but also look at this. As we come out of the pits, unfortunately, we are behind Carlos Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo, so we've got all the work to do if we want to get this podium. We have to earn this podium today, guys, because we have to overtake the Australian in the Ferrari and also the Spaniard in the Toro Rosso. And Giovinazzi behind us, confirming there on the top left, is on soft tyre. So Gio really did a really aggressive strategy. Super soft, super soft, super soft, soft tyre. But now, moving on to ourselves, the action. We go down the inside of Ricciardo, try a little diving move there. Didn't work out for us, and Ricciardo keeps it calm around the outside on his medium tyres. But I'm getting a little bit impatient here because I need to use my soft tyres up there as best I can to overtake these two, because I can't wait till the end of the Grand Prix, because then my tyres will be too worn. So we're trying to get a move on here, right behind Ricciardo now as we go down this straight, getting in the slipstream. DRS not even needed, we're right behind him. But here, as I move to the left-hand side, Ricciardo does actually well to block me off there, so we tap his rear end a little bit. So now we have to try a little bit of a diving move down the inside. Ricciardo goes a little bit deep actually and gives me a lot of room, to be fair. So now we go side by side. We've gone a little bit too wide though into turn 2, but that means we'll get a better actually entry and exit off turn 2, get a good run on Ricciardo and potentially try and make a little bit of a diving move down the inside. There we go, nice and aggressive into the apex, kissing the curb there, and we're going to go side by side with Ricciardo once more into the S section, just like earlier in the Grand Prix. Here we go, we're down the inside this time. We'll stick it down the inside. Ricciardo is going to actually go keep it down. He's pushed us wide. Ricciardo's pushed us off circuit. We're ahead of him. The FIA tell us to give him the place back. We do momentarily for literally a millisecond. Then we cheekily get the place straight back. So we use that to good effect. Cheekily give Ricciardo the place for literally a millisecond and then take the place back from him. Very, very cruel to him, but he did push us wide there. That was really, really quite aggressive from the Australian. But as we go on to lap 22, we've got no time to contemplate that because Ricciardo again comes back at us and Giovinazzi now on the soft tyres there, and they go right past us. So we've lost 2 places down the straight. I actually brake a little bit early and hang back because I know I can try and get Giovinazzi back over some traction and some downforce in the middle sector. It's just about Ricciardo if I can actually keep up with him here, but we've lost 2 places for now, so we have some work to do if we really want to get this podium, as I've said before. So here we go into the S section. Surely we'll be able to get the downforce on the Toro Rosso like we did on Sainz. So we're going to try the same move that we did on Sainz on Giovinazzi this time. We get a little bit close here, swing it back round down the inside. Gio will keep it down the inside. He'll try his best. We're going to do this switchback line, lovely little switchback, and we're actually going to get the place out right there. So unlike Sainz, Gio unable to keep it on the left-hand side there. He actually goes really too deep into that hairpin corner, and so we get the place back, and so we're up into what will be 6th place, trying to chase down Ricciardo in 5th. What will be a net 3rd place, though. This is for a podium. Giovinazzi, Ricciardo, myself, and Sainz all fighting for a podium there. Remember, Sainz at the moment still in a net 3rd place. What will be? He's up the road on medium tyres. So the thing is, even though we're fighting, you may think we're losing time, me, Giovinazzi, and Ricciardo to Sainz, but actually the entire time, all 3 of us were gaining time on Sainz, even though we were scrapping away, like you can see. Very, very hard. Gio overtakes me. I try and go around the outside into turn 2. We go side by side. Beautiful little move here. And Gio, just like Van Dorn did at the beginning of the Grand Prix, is able to keep it there. He actually gets me on the run off turn 2. We're going to have to try and hang back and again make a move into the S section potentially. But all this while, despite all this battling, me and Ricciardo and Giovinazzi are all actually gaining on Sainz actually rapidly, very rapidly, because Sainz's medium tyres really aren't working out for him. Me and Gio on the soft tyres, obviously, and Ricciardo on the mediums, where it looks like the Ferrari likes the medium tyres compared to the softer super softs and the softs. And you can see there, very easy move down the inside of the hairpin once more. Looks like Giovinazzi is actually struggling quite a lot into that braking zone, so that's a place to remember if he does overtake us once more. But you can see, there is Carlos Sainz, there's Ricciardo, myself, and Giovinazzi. We're all closing up on him like absolute sharks here, so this is going to be a very interesting end to the Grand Prix. So as we move on through the final corner, lap 23 onto lap 24 though, we've got a good run on Ricciardo, really great entry into that final corner. Open the DRS, get the slipstream, move to the left hand side, and this time Ricciardo does not block us off here, so we're going to go round the outside into turn 1, which will turn into the inside of turn 2, remember. We might not need it, because actually we get cleanly past Ricciardo, and we don't have to even go side by side with the Australian into turn 2. So we've got that place now, and you can see all the while we are visually catching up to Sainz. Ricciardo, again, is going to try something around the outside. I defend down the inside here, and we're actually going to not need it, actually. Ricciardo is not able to outbrake us into that next corner, so we're going to have to try now catch up to Sainz, move later on into the Grand Prix. Lap 26 now, 2 laps later. We have got just about 3 laps to go in this Grand Prix when we cross the line for lap 27. And you can see now Sainz is in overtaking range. You know, one more lap and we'll be right there. But you can see we're on low fuel, so I drop it down to lean mix. And I'm actually going to let Ricciardo pass it, because here's my thinking. I'm going to let Ricciardo fight with Sainz, because all the time we've seen that these guys love to fight so much, and Bahrain is throwing up some great battles between everyone, really. But it means that I can sit back, relax, get some popcorn out, and basically relax and watch them fight and basically slow each other down. So I'm going to save some fuel. I need to save some fuel desperately, otherwise I'm going to run out by the end of the Grand Prix. I'm just going to work on defending from Giovinazzi, let Ricciardo catch Sainz here, and hopefully they have a battle and slow each other down into a really awkward position at some point in the circuit. And you can see as we move on to lap 28 now, 2 laps to go, 1.5 pretty much, and we're closing up on Ricciardo, who is right on the back of Carlos Sainz now. His tyres are gone. The Spaniard's mediums really not working anymore. Giovinazzi and me and Ricciardo, we're all catching up to him. And you can see we've got DRS on Ricciardo, and Ricciardo will have DRS on Carlos Sainz. So this is where our plan comes into action. With nearly 1 lap to go by the end of this lap, we will see if this plan's going to work. Here goes Ricciardo down the inside of Carlos Sainz, off panning shot, and there you go, just through on the corner of your screen there. They go side by side, and now you can see as we'll go back on board, Sainz squeezes Ricciardo out. Ricciardo, balls of steel to go around the outside of Sainz there on such a high-speed corner, and we use that opportunity to go now down the inside, nip it down the inside. Very cheeky move on Sainz. And there is the move there, and Bob's your uncle. We're up into 4th place, and now we can concentrate on Ricciardo. It's going to be the final lap of the Grand Prix, and we're going to be fighting for this final podium position. So what an end to this Grand Prix this is going to be. We're in the slipstream with DRS. Come on, we can do this. Going to get the slipstream, get the speed on Ricciardo. He's going to be a sitting duck here as we go into turn 1. The 2 Toro Rossos also slipstreaming. We dive down the inside of Ricciardo into turn 1. We go in 3rd place. Ricciardo hangs back. He's actually going to get a better exit off turn 2 like a few times he's gotten. And so now you can see him darting around in the mirrors. He's going to go to the right-hand side of the circuit. I'm going to stay on the outside as we go into the next corner. Ricciardo actually locks up on his left front tire. We keep it around the outside because of that, because he loses momentum and traction going off the corner. We go side by side once more into the X section. We keep it down the inside, and we'll get the better racing line, and we'll keep ahead in 3rd place. But look how close it is between P3 to P4, P5 and P6. You could cover us with a blanket. Absolutely crazy stuff here. It's going to be a McLaren 1-2, but who will join them in 3rd place? It's not over yet, because there goes Ricciardo down the inside on the final corner, the final lap. Ricciardo down the inside. I tried the switchback. We've made contact. Ricciardo goes behind me, but we're running out of fuel here. Ricciardo's going to get a good run. I've not got the best exit. Here goes Ricciardo across the line. Oh, that was a photo finish. Who has got 3rd place? I could not tell. You could not tell who's got 3rd place there. It's going to be Stoffel Van Dorn winning the first race of 2018. Hamilton in 2nd place. So once again, Van Dorn getting the measure. But who finished in 3rd here? You can see as we go across the line, we're still not at the finish line yet. Here is Ricciardo. From Ricciardo's perspective, we come across, the racing line just comes now. And there it is, Ricciardo finishes just ahead of us and snags the podium. That was an just unbelievable end. Unbelievable end to the Grand Prix. And to be honest, Ricciardo probably did deserve the 3rd place there, just because I did tap him a little bit into the final corner. But to be fair to me as well, he did actually brake quite awkwardly and tried to plant it onto the apex, whereas I was trying the switchback line. But Ricciardo gets 3rd place. I'm just completely thrilled with that race. That was crazy for a first race of the season there. And once again, just showing, you just never know what's going to happen in a MyDriver first round there. So it's going to be a 1-2 for McLaren. We're going to come home in 4th. Ricciardo 3rd. Gasly will eventually come in 7th place behind the 2 Toro Rossos. And you can see there, it's a great race for Nico Hülkenberg, his first points for Renault. And Charles Leclerc getting 9th place for Alfa Romeo. And Grosjean gets first points for Haas in Formula 1 in 10th place there. So really great job for those guys to get points in the first race. You can see now McLaren an early lead, quite a big lead actually, because you can see Red Bull and Toro Rosso on equal points, 18-18 apiece. You can see just how close it is, and Ferrari, obviously, with Vettel's demise, only 4th place right now with 15 points. So, unfortunate start for Ferrari, and they will be kicking themselves. And I think Ferrari will be coming back next race with some homework to do about what happened there, because they were looking so strong in pre-season, so strong in qualifying, and they've been outdone by the McLarens today. So, guys, if you have enjoyed the first episode of MyDriver 2018 Season 4, smash that like button. Let's try and get over 2,500 likes. Let's try and do that, guys. If we can, that'd be absolutely amazing. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new, do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. Guys, this will be a weekly series every single Monday as best I can. If it's not on the Monday, just assume that I've got university work, but I will try my best to get one episode out every single Monday. I hope you guys can appreciate the work that goes into this. I can't do any more than one a week, but I will try my best to make sure every single Monday. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.